Welcome back, Nerd Squad, to Top 10 Nerd. I'm your host, Johnny Rogers, and if you happen to be new here, we put out daily content on all things nerd, so if you're down with that, then tap the subscribe button for more. Plus, make sure you stay all the way until the end of this video because you won't believe what our #1 spot is. And why don't you leave us a comment down below with who your favorite symbiote is, and while you mull that over, let's jump into today's list of the top 10 scary times superheroes wore the Venom Symbiote. In at number 10, Flash Thompson. Also known as Agent Venom, there's nothing scarier than imagining what would happen if your high school bully bonded with a symbiote. Usually the Venom symbiote's violent nature turns superheroes into villains, however in this case Thompson's military background tamed it with discipline. That being said, the scariest part of this Venom symbiote is that even Flash had a difficult time keeping the symbiote under control. After losing his legs while serving his country, Thompson had volunteered to bond with the symbiote as part of a program called Project Rebirth 2.0. Not only did the symbiote regrow his lost limbs, it also elevated his powers to that of Spider-Man's, which is a step up from being an ex-soldier bound to a wheelchair. In at number 9, Spider-GWEN. Much like the classic story of Peter Parker being bitten by a radioactive spider, in the Earth 65 continuity, it was Gwen Stacy that followed that path instead. As such, she too was exposed to the Venom symbiote and quickly realized how scary its power was. Gwen had met with Murdoch at Oscorp in hopes of saving her father from being sent to prison. While there, scientist Dr. Elsa Brock had told Gwen she could restore her powers and cure Harry Osborn by exposing the lizard serum to the radioactive spider isotopes. A deal was made to help Harry, but after S.H.I.E.L.D. had sent bounty hunters to capture Harry, he convinced Gwen to break the deal with Murdoch. Eventually, Harry would transform into the lizard, forcing Gwen to team up with the S.H.I.E.L.D. bounty hunters Shadowcat and Logan, and using her isotopes, she turned the lizard serum in Harry's veins into venom. But the symbiote would then jump from host to host before finally bonding with Gwen. In at number 8, Deadpool. Once bonding with the Venom symbiote, the merc with a mouth became known as Venompool, and made us wonder how long it would last before the symbiote couldn't handle living with this superhero host. During a battle over a statue, Deadpool was rescued by the black and white symbiote that was being hunted by the alien bounty hunters Killer Thrill, Guz, and Cold War. Recognizing the symbiote and needing the backup for this fight, Deadpool let the Venom symbiote take over to defeat Danson. Although the Deadpool Back in Black comic books are not the first time this symbiote has latched onto Wade. In Deadpool's Secret Wars, it was revealed that the two have bonded in the 1984 Secret Wars. It's a lot of secrets. In at number 7, Spider-Man. Peter Parker is the OG host of the Venom symbiote in the Marvel Comics, and although he's not the first in terms of continuity, he's still the first that we remember most. While on Battleworld during the 1984 Secret Wars, Parker discovers the symbiote and mistakes it for a cool new suit, which, fair assumption, I mean look how much cooler it made Tobey Maguire. All of his hopes and dreams of being more confident in his cool new black suit though were soon destroyed after realizing he accidentally just carved a perfect path for what will become his greatest enemy. The black suit as Spidey still stands as one of the more scary versions of Spider-Man, at least in our opinion. In at number 6, Miss Marvel. Before becoming Captain Marvel and before the Venom symbiote, Carol was known as Miss Marvel. During the events of Siege, where Norman Osborn was leading an assault on Asgard, where the Venom symbiote had been just snatching up Asgardians and consuming them. In order to quell this destruction, both Miss Marvel and Spider-Man confronted Venom, who at the time was under the control of Mac Gargan. Spidey questioned him about his recent horrendous actions, which included starting a gang war and eating squirrels. I'm not sure which is worse. In the middle of battle, Miss Marvel lends the assist by literally yanking Mac out of the symbiote, for which it did not take kindly to. In response, the Venom symbiote merged with her, forcing Carol to run amok through the city. In at number 5, Guardians of the Galaxy. This is one of the scarier yet most exciting times that a superhero bonded with the Venom symbiote, mainly because it was more than one superhero who had their turn with the psychotic plague. The first host it chose was Groot, and once being knocked into next week by Drax, it evaded attacks until latching onto Rocket Raccoon. With alien-like firearms attached to his terrifying little body, the symbiote attempted to take control of the ship. If that wasn't scary enough for you though, Drax to the rescue again, and upon Drax trying to rip the symbiote off of Rocket, it promptly switches over to the more powerful Drax. Now as Venom Drax, he takes control and flies the ship to the home planet of the symbiotes. In at number 4, X-23. During the Edge of Venomverse series, we got to explore Venoms from other realities, and in the same complex that was experimenting on X-23, also known as Laura Kinney, they also just so happened to be working on the Venom Symbiote. Coincidence? I think not. It was only a matter of time before the two bonded, over their share of long walks on the beach, leading to a massacre that befell anyone attempting to stop Laura from escaping. And after arriving in New York City, this X-23 symbiote became a monster of sorts, the kind that you hear about in urban legends. Even scarier is that Laura, who bears a striking resemblance to Wolverine, actually would give in to the symbiote's power. In at number 3, the Punisher. Frank Castle isn't like your average superhero, but his fair share of heroic deeds earns him a spot on this list. If you weren't scared of the Punisher to begin with, the Venom Punisher will certainly give you chills. In fact, I don't know if there's another character that personality-wise fits better than Frank Castle in the Venom Symbiote. Unfortunately, we never were able to delve into too much of what this match made in hell would look like due to its limited run in the Marvel's What If series. Like many of its hosts, the Punisher had trouble trying to keep it under control, but with similar desires he manages and decides to keep it, even though it forced him to have a grudge with Spider-Man that ultimately ended in him being forced out of the suit. In at number 2, Wolverine. In an attempt to find the perfect host for the Venom symbiote, a group decides to bond it with Wolverine, which ends up going sideways real quick. In theory, it's a good assumption that Logan would be the best host. I mean, he's got that healing factor combined with Venom. That could essentially make an immortal symbiote. In the 5-issue alternate reality Edge of Venomverse we mentioned before, Wolverine became much bigger and looked absolutely terrifying as Wolvenom. He was so powerful it would take the force of a nuclear bomb to separate the venomized Wolverine. Last but not least, in our number 1 spot, Red Hulk. This is by far not only our favorite, but also one of the scariest times that a superhero wore the Venom symbiote. Sure, he's not that much of a superhero technically, but he has done some good things. I mean, we gotta give it up for the Red Hulk. That's why he's our number 1 spot. And during a storyline known as the Circle of 4, the Red Hulk ended up taking the Venom symbiote from Flash Thompson as well as the Spirit of Vengeance, creating this cocktail of destruction unlike anything we've ever seen before. It is by far one of the most intimidating versions of Venom ever, and rightfully so. There's a lot of evil all mixed together, but how else was he supposed to take on Blackheart and his minions? I'm so surprised they just didn't end it with Blackheart seeing the monstrosity and just waving a white flag like, nope, we're done. Alright, it's all good. You win. You win. Please don't kill me. And that has been the top 10 scary times superheroes wore the Venom symbiote. Thank you so much for watching, and if you enjoyed this video, show us some love by tapping that like and subscribe button. Plus, leave us a comment down below with your thoughts on this list. And for more videos like this one, all you have to do is click that flash and playlist on your screen. From Top 10 Nerd, I'm Johnny Rogers saying until next time, take care.